I'm going to tell you something that happened to me, something that still makes the hair on my arm stand up every time I think about it. I was sitting in my tree stand deep in the woods, and I witnessed something that defies all explanation. Bigfoot killed a 12-point buck right under me. I know how that sounds. I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but you need to hear this story. It was early morning, still that misty gray before the sun really breaks through the canopy. I'd hiked in before dawn, a good 2 miles from the nearest road. The woods were quiet, just the sound of leaves rustling and the occasional bird call. I was settled in my stand about 20 feet up, with a perfect view of a clearing where I'd seen deer trails. I was just getting into that patient, zen-like state you get into when you're hunting. Totally focused, listening to every little sound. That's when I heard it. It wasn't a deer, and it wasn't a bear. It was a heavy, deliberate footstep. Thump, dot, 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 thump, dot, 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 thump. It was bipedal, I could tell that much. My first thought was another hunter had wandered into my area, which was annoying but not unheard of. I stayed perfectly still, trying to pinpoint the sound. It was coming from my left, moving through some thick brush. I could hear branches snapping, not like a deer pushing through, but like something was just plowing through them. My heart started to pound a little faster. This didn't feel right. The woods went completely silent. No birds, no squirrels, nothing. It was that dead quiet you get when a major predator is nearby. The sound of the footsteps stopped right at the edge of the clearing. I was scanning the tree line, my eyes straining to see what was there. Then, out of the brush stepped this massive 12-point buck. Its head was up, ears swiveling, nostrils flaring. It was terrified of something. I slowly raised my rifle, thinking this was my chance, but something held me back. I wanted to see what had this magnificent buck so scared. I didn't have to wait long. From the same spot in the brush, a figure emerged, and my blood ran cold. It was huge. Easily 8, maybe 9 feet tall, covered in dark, matted hair. It wasn't a bear. It walked on 2 legs, with long, powerful arms that swayed as it moved. Its shoulders were incredibly broad, and it moved with a chilling mix of speed and silence for its size. It was Bigfoot. I couldn't believe my eyes, but there was no mistaking it. The buck saw it at the same moment I did and tried to bolt, but it was too late. The creature closed the distance in 3 massive strides, faster than anything that big should be able to move. It didn't make a sound. It grabbed the buck by the antlers with one hand and its back with the other. The power was just unbelievable. I heard a sickening crack as the buck's neck snapped, and it fell to the ground, motionless. I was frozen in my tree stand, 20 feet up, and I've never felt so small and helpless in my entire life. I couldn't breathe. The creature stood over the buck for a moment, then effortlessly slung the massive deer over its shoulder like it was nothing more than a sack of flour. A 200-pound buck thrown over its shoulder with one arm. It turned its head slightly, and I swear, for a second, it looked up. I couldn't see its eyes clearly through the shadows and hair, but I felt it. I felt it look in my direction. Then, as silently as it appeared, it turned and walked back into the dense woods, disappearing from sight. I was left there, shaking, my rifle feeling like a child's toy. I was 2 miles deep in the wilderness with a creature of unimaginable strength somewhere out there in the trees. There was nowhere to go. I just sat there, unable to move until the sun was high in the sky, trying to process what I had just seen. I've hunted in these woods my whole life, and I've never experienced anything like it. It changed everything I thought I knew about the world. Thanks for listening to my story. I had to share it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you've seen anything like this, I want to hear about it. Follow for more, because this isn't something I can just forget.